Tyler Perry's Ruthless, independent films, and beyond. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to have you here. On this channel, we dive deep into the world of Ruthless, recapping and reviewing every juicy episode. But that's not all. We also explore the amazing world of independent films, giving you the lowdown on the latest and greatest. What sets us apart is our commitment to raw, unfiltered conversations. You get to enjoy exclusive interviews with industry experts, actors, and creatives who spill the tea on their experiences. And when we gather around the table for our panel discussions, you can bet the conversations are going to be real, honest, and sometimes even ruthless. So if you're obsessed with Ruthless as we are, or if you're just looking for a space where you can engage with like-minded folks, you've come to the right place. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and get ready to join the Ruthless Addicts family. Let's get this conversation started. What's your take on Ruthless? Drop it in the comments below, and let's all right. What is good? What is good, everybody? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts, y'all. How is everybody's Friday going? Yes, it's the freaking weekend. We about to have some fun. Everybody is like, what is it, Memorial Day weekend? So it's literally going to go down for a lot of people. A lot of people probably have barbecues planned. Y'all know how we do it on Memorial Day. So I'm looking forward to it. I get to take a little small break, and then who knows what the weekend may bring. But with that being said, y'all, we are here to discuss Tyler Perry's "She the People," the very first episode. I'm not going to give you all of the episodes because there's literally only 8 episodes, and the ending, the 8th episode, is a must watch. I'll just say that much, okay? So thank you for those of you that are tapping in. I see you. Your presence absolutely is my presence. So thank you so much. So we're talking about She the People, which was written originally by Terri J. Vaughn. She's the writer, one of the producers on this as well. And she, I think the writing was pretty unique. But let's get into who's a part of the cast of She the People. Now, for those of you that don't know, one of our favorites, the one and only Robert Craighead, aka Sheriff Conley, is in this project as well. So he plays Governor Irwin Harper, who this whole thing takes place in Mississippi. So you can just imagine the racism and everything that goes down in Mississippi. Okay. So the cast, like I said, are as follows: Terry J. Vaughn, Kevin Thomas, who plays Jed Bonds, Joe Marie Payton. Y'all should know Joe Marie Payton from Family Matters, one of our favorite shows, one of our favorite. I'm messing with effects and stuff over here, y'all. But one of our favorite shows back in the, what was it, the 90s, the early 90s, we had Family Matters. So that is yeah, that's one of, well, it was one of my favorite shows. So we got Marie Payton in this as well. We've got Jade Novah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jade Novah, but she is infamous for imitating Beyonce and many other great singers. She's super talented and she sings really, really well herself. So we've got, who else? We got Dyon Brooks, also known as Mojo Brooks. He's funny. I can't say enough about him. He literally, his energy in this movie, he gave a lot. He really gave a lot, but he did his thing. Like I said, Robert Craighead, who portrays Governor Erwin Harper, and I love Sheriff Conley, aka Robert Craighead. He does his thing in this. Now he does piss me off, but he's the governor of Mississippi. Think about it. There's some racist people in Mississippi, and he's just playing a role. And I love this for him. He does an amazing job. There's a host of other characters, including her husband, who's a part of this as well. Terri J. Vaughn's husband, he's in this as well. But we'll get into that character. I may come back and talk about the second through the eighth episode. I just want to give you guys just a brief recap of what the first episode entailed. And so let me start this whole thing off with this little small interview that governor, she was running for lieutenant governor, and she has to go around, she has to go and try to get people to vote for her. And this one particular newscaster was just giving her the business, just straight up disrespectful, talking about how her mama, how they grew up, how she grew up in the hood, and just a lot. So let me just give you guys a clip of that moment, and then I'll kind of discuss a little bit further. So y'all listen, I love Marie Payton because she was ready to give old girl the business. She was like, yeah, we may have grew up in the hood, but we stayed by each other. And Dun she Lord, I just Terri J, her character, she lets her know, look, this is just, my mother worked hard for that house that she has, regardless of where it's located. She worked hard, and so she did what she had to do to give me, a life, and I grew up in that life, and I'm okay with that. So, this whole newscaster, she came across just straight up judgmental, so disrespectful. But then they played back a moment. It's like a flashback moment where Mama, they call her Granny Mama, Granny Auntie, Mama Auntie, they call her that. But she's at this church, at a funeral of all places, handing out flyers talking about vote for my daughter. But she mama, she did what she had to do. And so, we did have some background actors, some actors that I've worked with or that I've seen or I've met. And shout out to Alnisa Chisholm, who she was also in Ruthless. She's the first lady right here on the state on the if you look at the lady who's actually frowned up looking towards whoever is on the stage, that's Alnisa Chisholm. So salute to her. She got that, she on the front row seat, and I'm here for it. I love it when the background actors can get their time. Get their time, y'all. So anyway, moving right along. Mama Auntie is big mad, like she's ready to walk out, but she listens to, her daughter giving this great speech as to how she, what her mama did to provide for her. She did what she had to do. She worked, and then she gets mad. Mama Auntie gets mad, and so she walks out of this whole interview, and Terry Devon's character is like, I held my own. And so Mama Auntie was like, you didn't hold your own. You could have, as if she's supposed to get, as they want to call us, ghetto on the screen. But she held her composure. People are looking at her, cameras are looking at her. And so, like I said, she held her own in the midst of adversity, in the midst of hateration, in the midst of just ignorance in her face. She still held her own. So then we have a moment where, listen, Maha Brooks is supposed to be the driver. He goes by the name of Basil. And Basil cannot drive. Basil is always drunk or high. And he really is like a self-proclaimed driver. She never officially hired him, but her cousin, who's portrayed by Jade Novah, also known as Shamika, says, let her boyfriend, basically drive them around. And so she's telling him, look, you're going to have to come. If I win this thing, you can't be dressed like Superfly and all that other stuff. You got to come with some black suits. Do you even own a black suit? But everything y'all see Basil in is going to be super colorful. So just keep that in mind. So then she makes her way home, and we're seeing her interact with her ex-husband. Keep in mind, her ex-husband cheated on her, therefore nobody likes him. The cousin Shamika doesn't like him, mama auntie don't like him. And she, you could tell that she's kind of still in love with her husband, even though he cheated on her. She's still kind of in love with him, but she still is. I'll say she's able to be cordial with him because she never really does give any, true thought as to how she really feels. They never really give us that to tell us, is she really still in love with him, or does she just, let him just be around just for the sake of the kids. And I think it's mostly for the sake of the kids. That's just my opinion. Maybe in the second half, they'll tell us how she really truly feels, or they'll just allow her to, tell him how she truly feels about him and what he did to her. There's he's trying to give her a phone number of some campaign manager, someone who wants to work on her campaign. But Shamika is like, listen, the campaign, all that campaigning is over with. Like, tonight is literally the election. So now he's trying to come in after cheating on her and doing her wrong. Now he's trying to come in and be supportive, when that was probably something they were lacking in the relationship. They probably lacked support. I can't say if it was between each other, but there's definitely a lack of support missing. Something was missing within the relationship that caused him to cheat, other than him just being selfish. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So this young, generous son comes downstairs. He's so happy. He's smiling. Oh, I love you, mom, and I love you, son. And and then we get the daughter from hell, y'all. We get the daughter from hell. She is so disrespectful. Like, I literally want to jump through the television screen and snap, crackle, and pop this young lady. I think I have a clip. Let's play this clip and just show y'all, the energy that this little girl gives. So check this out, and I'll be right back. Yep, the daughter from hell. The daughter from hell. That's all I can say. She was just doing the utmost and so disrespectful. And Terri J. Vaughn's character, she's just like, let me look at this name list right quick so I can quit calling her Terri in the show, in the series. She portrays Antoinette Dunkerson. So Antoinette Dunkerson, she is just trying. She don't have time to really, go back and forth with her children as far as arguing. So it seems as if she's like being controlled, or like her actions are being dictated by these children. How it's really, she says it, I just don't have time to go back and forth with her. I got to get down. We got one more place to go and poll and do all the stuff we need to do. We campaigning. We got one more stop that we have to make. So I don't really have time to go back and forth with this little girl. And so her daughter as well as her son leave, and they go with their father. Now the daughter convinces her father that, hey, I'm supposed to be spending the night at Angel's home. And who the heck is Angel? Nobody knows Angel. But this daughter is convincing her father, when in actuality, y'all, he should have called mama and be like, is she supposed to be dropped off at Angel's home? And I'm just using Angel because I can't remember the actual name that they use. But she does that. She sneaks and, basically sneaks her way over to someone's home. And in actuality, she ends up getting in the car with this young man right here. Like, girl, you're supposed to be with your mama or either your daddy. And she's only 16, y'all. Keep in mind, she's only 16. So we got that whole scenario of children just running rudely and sneaking off with boys, and she's that child. So again, I literally, when watching this very first episode, wanted to go through the screen and jump on this little girl and snatch her by her braids. But to this young lady, she's doing her thing. So then we see Antoinette, and she is at church. She's campaigning. She's at this church. She's letting these people know, hey, I could be the best lieutenant governor that you need me to be. I can help the community. I'm here for the community. Of course, y'all, there's always one of us in the audience. Well, how can you take care of those people down there at the mansion? This lady right here, y'all. How can you take care of the people down, or how can you handle those people down there at the mansion, and you can't even handle your own children? And how come? And you don't lie and say you used to come to this church. And then Antoinette, she turns it around. She says, "Well, my mama used to. I said we drove past here. I never said we came in. I just said we drove past here." So, it's always one Doubting Thomas in the audience that is just giving poor Antoinette, she's giving her the business, y'all. No trust in the Black woman. That's all I'm saying. We are our worst enemy sometimes. And literally that's what it gave us. This one woman in the audience who just had so much mouth and was just, trying to give Antoinette the business. And so she pulls up, everybody's phone starts pinging, and what could it be? Her own daughter at somebody's party dancing off of what's that? Sexy Red, Get It Sexy. Like, she just turning up in the whole, just messing up. So Antoinette is like, what? Wait, what is going on? So finally Shamika goes up there to the stand and lets her know, listen, girl, your baby is out there wilding out. We need to go and figure out where she is and what in the heck is going on. And so they leave from this whole campaign meeting, and she go to try to find her daughter. Now, whole time she's driving and she's frustrated, but she's speeding. And Shamika, who is also her assistant, which is her cousin, but she's her assistant as well. And she's telling her, look, girl, you can't be, out here wilding out. You can't be speeding. You can't be doing certain things. If you get caught, the police, it's going to be, how it is. You running for a lieutenant governor. They'll, try to make you look bad. So let me just, go inside the party and find your daughter, and I'll come back out. So in the meantime, Daddy is at home with the son at his home playing video games and just clueless to what is actually going on. But they're playing video games, and he gets a phone call, and it's Antoinette on the other line. And Antoinette is telling him, where is our daughter? And he says, oh, she went over to a friend's house. And she's like, no, she's not at a friend's house. And you didn't think to even call me to let me know that she was, planning to go somewhere. And she literally hangs up on him. And then she is, like I said, she's doing about 100, y'all. She is doing about 100, trying to make her way to this party to figure out what in the heck is going on and why is her daughter there without any supervision, or why she's there anyway, because she's supposed to be there with the father and at the house with her father. And like I said, y'all, Get It Sexy, Sexy Red is being played. And so Antoinette pulls up, she sees all these kids out here, they're drinking, they're dancing, just doing the utmost. And so she gets on the microphone and tells the DJ, shut the music down. Shut it down, DJ, shut it down. And she says, I'm looking for my daughter. And she tells, everybody the daughter's name. And, of course, this one brave soul decides to pop up. Lady, what are you doing here? So this little girl is just straight up high. You can look at her face. You can look at her face and tell she is high. And I was just like, please, Antoinette, just push her in the pool. Mug her and push her in the pool. But she doesn't. She just tells the little girl, move out the way. Little girl, are you high? And then she started threatening to call the police and all this other stuff. As you should, because it's underage drinking. But then her daughter walks up to her, and she's just straight up disrespectful. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here partying. And so this young man tells her, step behind me. And I'm looking at him like, well, what you gonna do? And Antoinette is thinking, oh, she turns around and says, oh no, this little MF didn't buck up on me, didn't get in my face like this. And so he tried it, But Antoinette had something for him. So y'all check out this clip real quick, and then I'll be right back. Yeah, let me see if I can get some laughter for that one. Yeah, she handled that like a black mama. She didn't come with that whole weak voice and whining, and she handled that like a black mama. It might be some other mamas out there that will swing on you, but I know for sure my grandmama was a swinging grandmama, and my mama was a swinging mama too. So listen, she handled it the way she had to handle it. Of course, videos came out. Everybody got phones, because that's the way we do it these days. We pulling out camera phones, and so she at that point her daughter was like, okay, I'm gonna go get in the car because my mama just swung on somebody. So they're driving home, and the young lady, she decides, well, they're actually getting ready to go to the campaign because, the headquarters, because, it's election night. So they still have to see whether or not she lost or won. And she's like, it's no need for me to even go there. I know I lost, and I know all of this stuff, all this footage is all over the place. It's on the internet. So, I don't really need to go just to see that I have lost. But Shamika convinces her, hey, girl, don't worry about it, because let's just go. Let's just go ahead and go. And so they do that. But in the midst of her driving, her daughter gets she gets smart with the grandmother. So she immediately steps on the brakes real fast so her mama wouldn't swing on her daughter because she know mama got a quick hand. And that was a funny moment for me, y'all. Just a lot of these moments in this show or in this series was pretty funny. So they finally make their way to corporate or to the headquarters where Antoinette Dunkerson is running for lieutenant governor, and there's only a handful of people in there, and she just knows up and down that she has lost this whole event. She knows that it's over. Of course, the husband is there, but nobody really cares. Again, nobody really likes him because of his cheating on Antoinette. Okay, so then we have a moment where the son looks at the television monitor and he's like, Mom, like, look at what's going on. And so you have the news reporter that's there, and she's telling, how there's how there are people still going to the polls, even if it's at the last minute, they're going to the polls and they're still out there voting. Now her daughter is still so drunk. She's, oh, I don't feel so good. And Mama Auntie is like, oh, so you want to get something else to drink so you can feel even worse, So she's that type of grandmama, and I love that. I love Jo Marie Payton in this role, y'all. Definitely love her in this role. But again, everybody turns and they're looking at the monitor, and this is what they hear when they look at the television monitor. Y'all check this out. And that's right, y'all. In the midst of adversity, she still ends up winning. So she gets up there and she makes this whole speech, about how she's going to be the best lieutenant governor that she can be. And that was the end of episode 1, entitled Vote for Me, from Tyler Perry's She the People, y'all. Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I really did enjoy this. I watched it and I had to, keep the fact that, Tyler Perry's name is on it. Had to take that out of my mind because for those of you that don't know, I am a very, very sincere fan of Tyler Perry. So I had to take that fact out of my head that he had anything to do with this. But in actuality, this whole story was Terri J. Vaughn's idea. She put the pen to the paper. And of course, Tyler Perry came in. He did his part and, made it work specifically for television. And we have a Netflix series entitled She the People. Y'all. And so I absolutely recommend that you guys check out She the People. We have a long weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, y'all. And I just absolutely recommend that you guys check it out. Each episode is about 29 to 30 minutes long. So you can literally binge this in about 4 hours. So 20 to 30 minutes long, 8 total episodes. You can literally watch this, you can get in bed and watch it. You can sit on your couch and watch it. I mean, just check it out, y'all. Support She the People. So far Netflix has it listed as coming in at number 3. Let's run those numbers up, people. Let's run those numbers up. Let's show this black woman, this black creator, some support. She literally did her thing. Terri J Vaughn is a dope director, dope producer, dope. She's just out there. She's doing her thing. She's been directing and producing for a very long time. And I think this is really, one of her moments. We are familiar with her from the Steve Harvey show, also known as Lavita Alizé Jenkins. And we also know her from Tyler Perry's House of Pain. Or not House of Pain. Is it House of Pain? Yeah, House of Pain. Or was it Assisted Living? I don't know. Whichever one, the Tamla and Meet the Browns. It was Meet the Browns, y'all. Meet the Browns. I had to think about it. And we're definitely going to see some more familiar characters. We've got Denise Boutte or some familiar cast or actors. We have Denise Boutte, who's going to be on the second episode, as well as T.C. Carson. There's a few more familiar faces sprinkled here and there. But again, y'all, I absolutely recommend this as something to watch over the weekend. Something funny. Got your funny Friday on. Go. Head to Netflix. Check it out. It's 8 total episodes. Each episode is about 30 minutes. And it's worth watching to me. It's definitely worth watching. In actuality, though, they could have actually given us, all 16 episodes. But unfortunately, we have to wait until August, which is not that very far. But August 22nd, they'll give us the remainder of the season. It's going to be 8 more episodes, August 22nd. But I'm absolutely here for it. I may come back next week sometime. It just depends. My schedule is weird. But I may come back next weekend and do recap on the second and third episode. I may do that just to keep giving it some momentum because it deserves to be talked about. So I'm absolutely loving it. And let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys have watched it already or if you plan to watch it. And, show some support. Show some support. We got Ruthless family members that are a part of this. Like I said earlier, Robert Craighead is in this one. He's going to work your nerves, I can assure you, but you're going to love him anyway. With that being said, y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in, tuning in, kicking it right here with Ticket to Shine on Funny Fridays. Thank y'all so much and have an amazing rest of your weekend. Stay ruthless.